And so who's the real fascist? You got a president, you pointed out. Biden said, even if we go through the democratic process and the people speak and the people say we want Medicare for all, he's going to overrule everything the people say and do what he thinks is right. Okay, but Trump's not a Trump's a fascist and Biden isn't a fascist, right? It's just different levels of different degrees of fascism.
But Tim, can I comment on that?
Sure, brother.
Because that is a serious question. Because what happened once the real powers to be were able to move against Donald Trump after January 6th?
The real powers to be. Let's emphasize on that. So, who really has the power? Big tech or Donald Trump? I mean, Trump's the fascist. Now, in regards to fascism, two words that are commonly associated with fascism is authoritarianism and totalitarianism. One of the main aspects of totalitarianism is controlling the distribution of information. Speech is regulated under totalitarianism. Or in other words, there's censorship. So again, who really has the power?
Were able to move against Donald Trump after January 6th. Talking about fascists and talking about coups and everything else. They disappeared the president of the United States. They took him off of social media.
Yeah.
He basically disappeared before his term was up. That should have been an obvious piece of evidence in terms of who really runs things in the U.S. Okay, you all say he was responsible for January 6th, and therefore he was potentially dangerous, and you suspend his Twitter account for 2 weeks. Okay, all right. How do you come back and say you want to permanently keep him off of Twitter with 88 million followers?
Now, Twitter permanently banned Trump under the pretext that he could potentially incite more violence. And because he's a potential threat to democracy, that gives big tech now justification for censorship. Besides, they know what's best. Yeah, they know what's best. They're the arbiters of truth. They dictate what's allowed and what's not allowed. Now, some people call Trump a dictator. They call him a fascist. They call him an autocrat. Some have even stated that he's the equivalent of Hitler. Now, I wonder, what would Hitler do? What would Benito Mussolini, Joseph Stalin, or Mao do in this same situation? What would they do? Would they allow themselves to be censored by big tech and not retaliate? I seriously doubt it. Because most dictators eliminate the competition. They eliminate opposition. They're the last one standing. They're the authoritarian standing. They don't fire people. They usually kill them. Especially if they don't get in line.
It shows, if you're thinking and watching, who's really running the country. That basically it ain't Donald Trump and his people. It is this super elite. It's this coalition between Silicon Valley, that is big tech, the military industrial complex, finance capital, and the intelligence agencies. That makes up the state. Even those private corporations that are theoretically private, they are part of what we call the state ideological apparatus, okay? And they are the ones that really control things. And they have basically, and what they're doing now, not only did they disappear Donald Trump, as I said earlier, they're trying to split the Republican Party. They want to delegitimize it permanently because they were really shaken by that January 6th event, okay? And what they're doing now to ensure that they can keep politics in the middle, talking about who's a fascist, now they evolve in systematic censorship. They had us like, oh, get rid of the white racists, and yes, they took them down. And then they start systematically moving against the so-called left. And we told people, you can't allow that. You've got to defend the notion, the bourgeois notion of freedom of speech and access to information.
The banning of Trump is now the parameter for censorship. And according to Ajamu, it's been ramping up since its permanent removal among the left and the right. Any comment or remark that can be classified as being harmful or dangerous can be censored or will be censored, even if there's nothing to validate that. I don't have to even make a direct threat of violence. Big tech can just say, they can just link the two. This comment will lead to civil unrest or potential violence. And because we're trying to protect society, we got to do this. Besides, this is for the well-being of society. We're doing this for your best interests. That's why we got to do this. So censorship is now justified by saying we're doing this for your best interests. The censorship that occurred against Trump isn't about Trump. It's about you.